In this problem, we're being asked to carry out the math involved in proving the law of sines. So we're going to start with some basic trigonometric ratios, and then we're going to manipulate that with algebra to show that the law of sines is true. You'll notice in this figure here, we have one big triangle, but we also have two little triangles because of this line H, and those little triangles are both right triangles. And that's really where we're going to start. So in part one here, it says sine B is what and sine C is what. So in the context of these smaller triangles, here's B, that's the angle. In this little right triangle, we can say that the sine of B is the opposite over the hypotenuse. And here that would be H over C. So sine of B equals H over C. I think I'm going to make my pen a little bit darker here. So sine of B equals H over C. And then let's look at angle C, and we're going to use this other right triangle here. So the sine of C is opposite over hypotenuse. That would be H over B. So sine of C is H over B. So that's our first step. This is just using the basic ratio for sine in these two right triangles. Now we're going to, in part two, we're just going to rewrite both those equations by solving for h. You can see they've got h on one side. And in this equation, to solve for h, we would just multiply both sides by c. And the c's would cancel here. Here we'd multiply by b. The b's would cancel. So what you're going to get is h equals c times the sine of b and b times the sine of c. All right, now we've got h equaling both those things, so we can actually set each of these parts equal to each other. Since they both equal h, they must equal each other. So we can say c times the sine of b equals b times the sine of c. And then the last thing we're going to do is divide by bc. We're allowed to do this because we're dividing both sides of an equation by the same thing. When we do that, we can cancel the c here and we can cancel the b here, and voila, you have the sine of b over b equals the sine of c over c. That is the law of sines, and that's what you get here in your last step. So that's a problem where we step by step show a proof of the law of sines.